All right, it says we are live, so I'm going to start talking because hopefully it's officially live. What's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, and I'm the co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. Can you hear me? That's the first question of the day is, can you hear me? Because every once in a while, the sound doesn't work on this thing. So over in the chat room, let me know if you guys can hear me. And I don't know. We'll get going from there. So we got a little over 2,000 people registered for today's webinar, which is crazy. Usually we get about, between a third and half of those people to actually show up. So we should get close to 1,000 people here today, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. Checking on a few things here, making sure everything's set up correctly. And let's see. All right, how you guys doing today? Hey, what's up, Nick? What's up, Zachary? What's up, David? Dirk? Do you guys all hear me okay, right? Because this would be really awkward if I'm just talking to a camera. All right, good deal. Audio sounding fine. Good. All right. So what's up, everyone? My name is Brandon Turner. For those who don't know me, I'm the co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. I'm an active real estate investor, and I don't know, just got a new iPhone. It's kind of cool. Got the big iPhone 7 Plus. Look at this thing. It's like an iPad. Thing's gigantic. Anyway, so today we're not talking about iPhones. We're talking about single-family houses, though. This is something that I do a lot of. I like buying single-family houses. Yeah, it's not an apartment complex or something crazy like that, but I really, really enjoy that a lot. I like the challenge of getting into an old house and just like completely renovating it, turn it into something beautiful, and getting the good cash flow from single-family houses. So today we are talking about that. And specifically, we're talking about how to generate $5,000 a month from that. There's actually more than one way to do that. And we're going to go over 3 different ways to generate that kind of income from single family houses. Again, I'm super, super passionate about this stuff. So hopefully you guys are as well. And if you're not, hopefully by the end of today's presentation, you will be. So now you're not going to see my face a whole lot today, but I wanted to turn my face on because I wanted to show you guys something. Come with me. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my house just because I want to brag a little bit here. Check this out. Okay. Hopefully the sound doesn't get too crappy because I'm walking with a snowball microphone. Check this out. All right. So this is my house. All right. So let's check this out. Oh, I should have showed you the before picture. Anyway, I spent the last 2 days renovating my bathroom. You guys got to see this thing. Check this out. Look at it. It like belongs on like Fixer Upper. Yeah, that's right. That right there. I totally refinished that countertop. Like I bought a big piece of like reclaimed wood from a tore down building. I got this big piece of wood and I refinished it, sanded it, stained it, and then spent a few days here with my brother-in-law and another buddy of mine completely renovating this bathroom. This belongs on HGTV or something. So anyway, that's all I got for you. That's my house. All right, let's do this webinar. Let's talk about single family houses. I got another picture to show you as well. During this time, the last couple of days, while we were renovating that bathroom, we were also renovating a single family house. I actually bought a single family house. What day is today? Wednesday? Today's Wednesday, today's Thursday, June 15th. So on Monday, I closed on a single family house and I got to work on it. It was kind of cool. Shona said the before picture was on Instagram. That's right. The before picture, if you want to see what it looked like before, it looks like 2001 threw up all over the room. Go check it out on my Instagram at Beardy Brandon, Beardy Brandon. You can find it there. But let's go ahead and put on the slides because we got a lot to talk about today. I want to, give you guys a quick tour and kill some time. But I'm going to turn on my slides. If anything happens weird, if the webinar shuts off or something crashes, which it happens, do me a favor and we'll go jump over to like Bigger Pockets Facebook page and we'll do a Facebook Live. Okay. I don't want to do Facebook Live because I like this to be private with just, not everybody in the world and their mother watching this webinar. I want it to just be you guys and me. But if it goes broken, we'll go over to Facebook. So, all right, let me turn on my screen share real quick. Let me go over here. It's going to make me wait a minute. Hold on. Let me open this up. View. All right. You guys ready? I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to be here. You just won't see my face. I know that disappoints all the ladies out there, but it's all right, Hold on. All right. So hopefully you guys can still hear me and see me okay. Well, you can't really see me anymore. But Nick said, I got audio. That's good. Nick asked if I found a mobile home park yet. No, I've analyzed a few in the past week. I'm still looking for one. If anybody has a mobile home park, let me know. I definitely am looking for a mobile home park, 50 units or greater anywhere in the country. I'm working on it. All right, guys, let's get into this thing. Enough killing time. Let's move on. Oh, I'll show you the picture of this other single-family house later. Anyway, I bought a single-family house on Monday. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we renovated the outside of it and totally transformed the look of it. I'll show you guys later. Just remind me. With that, let's get going. Today, we're talking about how to generate $5,000 a month from single-family rental houses. Now, yes, you might like flipping houses. You might like wholesaling. Great. Stay with me. But today, specifically, I'm going to use 3 examples, 3 different ways you could generate $5,000 a month from single-family houses. Sound fun? So, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here today. This should be a lot of fun. Let's first make sure you guys are all in the right place. So I'm going to describe a few different types of people, and if this fits you, then you're probably in the right place. So first of all, if you don't want to work your job forever, you're going to love rental properties. Rental properties give you the ability to build up what we call in the industry passive income, right? It's that extra money every month that comes in whether or not you work a day job or not. And let me tell you guys, when I was 27, I achieved financial freedom by getting enough rental properties to pay all my bills. I don't want to underestimate how awesome that is. Like, not just that I did it, I didn't have many bills, so it wasn't that hard. But the principle is amazing, right? The fact that I don't have to get up and work if I don't want to. I could go lay in bed forever. I don't want to lay in bed, but I could, right? And you can as well with rental properties. So if that's you, you're going to love this. If you want to have an amazing retirement, if you're like, you know what, maybe I don't want to quit my job right now, but later on in life, I want to have a really, really good retirement. Yeah, don't rely on Social Security for that because it probably won't be here. And even if it is, it's not very much. I want you guys to have an incredible retirement filled with all sorts of cool stuff. So if that's you, hang tight. And if you just want extra income to live right now, to live an extraordinary life, I mean, imagine right now, actually, let's have some fun real quick. In the chat area, share with me, right now, if you had an extra $5,000 a month in income, nothing else changed in your life, but all of a sudden you've got $5,000 more a month. What would you do more of? So let me know in the chat area what you would do more of. I'm going to read off a few of them here in just a minute. So as you guys go ahead and type that in the chat area. And yeah, I want everybody to type that in the chat area. I love to read a bunch of responses. I don't like these webinars to be one-dimensional, right? I know it's me talking to you and whatever, but I really want to interact with you guys. So things like paying student loans, family, drag race cars. Oh, I love that. More cruises, Levin said. Create more passive income. Oh, I like that. You're going to recycle some cash flow. Brad said travel. Penny said pursue my art career. Love it. Volunteer, exercise, spend more time with my kids, travel, go to Spain. Family fun and vacations. Pay off my daughter's college loans. Love that stuff. And here's the cool thing, guys. You're going to be shocked at how simple, not necessarily easy. I will never tell you real estate is easy because it's not. It's hard work. But how simple it can be to get to that point. I'm talking about how simple it can be. So we'll get there later. So today, you guys are going to learn 3 distinct strategies for making $5,000 a month from single family houses. Sound fun? We all together? Now, understand again, this is not easy. It's not fast. You're not going to do it tomorrow. Well, I mean, you could, but it's probably not going to happen. But it's also not that complicated or impossible. It's actually a pretty simple thing. A lot of people are very pessimistic when it comes to real estate. They're like, I don't want to, my uncle tried real estate and it didn't work for him. And everyone's like, there's a lot of pessimistic people out there. But here's the truth. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. So if you are a pessimist, I want to invite you to postpone your pessimism for the present moment. You like that? And bear with me. Just think for a minute. What if it's possible? What if we really could build up enough passive income in the next few years so I could quit my job, so I could travel more, so I could do a lot of cool stuff, pay off my house? All right. So before we get into that, before I tell you guys how to do that, I want to encourage you to download today's worksheet. Scientific studies have proven if you take good notes, you're going to remember and apply the things you learn a lot better. So to help you with that, because that's my ultimate goal here today, guys, is I want to help you. So I created a worksheet that you can just fill in the blank as we walk through today's webinar. It keeps you on target. It keeps me on target to make sure that I'm not, going off too many rabbit trails, and helps make sure that you guys get the most important information out of today's webinar. So download that at biggerpockets.com/SFR, stands for single family residence, which is what we're talking about today. SFR worksheet. Now again, that's biggerpockets.com/SFR worksheet. No spaces, you can do capitals, but no spaces in there. All right, moving on. Our agenda today. We got 5-minute introduction here. Probably, I got some door prizes to hand out here in just a second. A little bit about who I am. Then I'm going to talk about those 3 ways to generate $5,000 a month from rental houses. So I'll probably spend a good 20 minutes on those. And I want you guys to really pay attention there because this stuff is hugely important. If you don't know these 3 things, it's going to blow your mind. I mean, some of you guys will know some of these strategies already, but if you don't, and even if you do, this stuff's going to be huge. Then we're going to talk about how to find and finance rental houses. Because listen, once I get through talking about how to make $5,000 a month, I know the 2 excuses everybody says. But Brandon, I don't know how to find any deals. Or, but Brandon, I don't have any money. So I'm going to eliminate those excuses from your mind today. And I'm going to actually spend some time talking about how do I find properties? How did I find the last one? How do I find them regularly? And how do I finance them? How can you finance them even if you don't have a lot of money? Does that sound good? Because I don't want you guys to walk away from this webinar with any excuses. By the way, guys, Cindy just wrote in the chat area, about to close on my first fourplex inspired by bigger pockets than you. Figured I will try it. I'm $5,000 apart from my offer. Looks like it'll happen. Whoop, whoop. Everybody give Cindy a shout out or a little congratulations, Cindy. Yeah, $5,000. You can make that happen. Stick to your numbers. Don't overpay, but that is awesome. Nice job, Cindy. Man, I love victories, right? That's we should celebrate each other's victories, right? That's so cool. All right, so then we're going to talk about some pro tools to help you guys achieve your goals faster and easier. So there's a few things I can give you guys that are going to save you several hours a week, if not more, from your investing. It's going to help you guys quite a bit, maybe even up to like 5 to 10 hours a week of time I can save you. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to do some Q&A. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Sound good? All right, like as I promised, I've got some door prizes just for showing up today. I want to give you guys something cool. Actually, I'm going to give you guys 3 things cool just for showing up. Number 1, there are a lot of real estate books out there, like 1,000,000,001 real estate books. Seriously, I've counted them. And, okay, maybe not 1,000,000,000, but there's a lot of real estate books, and a lot of them are worthless, and a lot of them are boring, and a lot of them could be, you could read one and not read the other, right? So to help you guys know what books to read, I wrote a guide called The Top 20 Real Estate Books Every Investor Should Read. And it's just, what's inside there? That's right. A description of the top 20 real estate books every investor should read. It's like, you should read this book if you want to flip. You should read this one if you want to do rentals. You should read this one if you care about landlording. And it helps you know which books you should go to the library and get or which ones you should go on Amazon and buy. Sound good? You can get that by going to biggerpockets.com/books just because I love you all. That's why I'm giving this out because, again, you guys could leave right now. I know that some people are like, Brandon sucks, I'm leaving. And that's fine. But at least take this free gift and go. There's no opt-in. There's nothing special. I'm not trying to scam you on anything. Just go download it. Biggerpockets.com/books. But I need you all to promise something. Hold up your right hand and say, I insert your name here. There's always one funny guy who's like, I insert your name here. Promise not to read this while Brandon's talking today. Promise not to read this while Brandon's talking today because it'll distract you. No distractions. Shut them all off. If you got a phone out right now, shame on you. Throw the phone across the room. You deserve to break your phone because you're not paying attention. Just kidding on that. Don't throw it. But you should put it somewhere else. Put it on silent. If you got kids in the house running around being annoying, just put them outside. It doesn't matter if it's raining. Like we survived outside for thousands of years, millions of years, whatever. So moving on. Free gifts number 2 and 3. Biggerpockets.com/ I'm not going to tell you that yet. I'm going to tell you guys these free gifts a little bit later in the webinar. I'm teasing you with them right now, but I'm going to give you the entire slide deck from today's webinar, all 350,000 slides that I'm going to go through. I'm just kidding. But all the slides I'm going to give you guys at the end of the webinar. And I'm going to give you another book called 7 Years to 7-Figure Wealth, a roadmap to earning your first million by investing in small multifamily properties. Now, here's why you want to read this book. It's not just because tens of thousands of people have read it and love it. It's not because it changed a lot of people's lives, but it's because of this. Today, I'm giving you a strategy on how single family houses can make you rich. This book is how multifamily can make you rich. And so I want you guys to get both. So hang around to the end. I'll give you that a little bit later. Now, real quick about Bigger Pockets. We are the real estate investing social network, marketplace, and information hub, right? So we're the real estate investing everything, right? We've got blogs, forums, podcasts, webinars, books. We've got videos. We dominate YouTube. We dominate Amazon. We dominate all over about real estate. And we have one purpose in life: to help you become successful through real estate investing. To become successful through real estate investing. Now, a little bit about me. My name is Brandon Turner. I am an active real estate investor. I've got 53. Hey, I get to change that number finally. I went 52, then I went to 53, then I sold one. I'm at 52, and now I'm at 53 again because I bought one on Monday. I have 53 rental units right now, or properties in general. I started at 21 though, with low income, no experience, and no knowledge. I had no idea what I was doing back then. But you know what? I stuck with it. And I used real estate to build up enough cash flow to quote unquote retire by 27. Now I say quote retire, because when you own rental properties, there's always some time you need to put into it. I still manage my own properties, most of them. I still look after them. I still do things, but I don't have to work a job. I work on my own schedule. We travel a crazy amount. And like I said, I currently own a little over 50 units, both single family and multifamily. Now, I'm also the co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. I'm an author of several books, including the book on rental property investing, which is the #1 real estate book in the world right now, according to Amazon. The book on managing rental properties, which is the best #1 landlording book in the world, according to Amazon. And the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down, which is all about how to invest creatively, which we'll talk about that a little later. I'm also a travel addict. That's my wife and I in Ireland. We spent a month in Hawaii this last April, just a few months ago. Spent a whole month there. I hope to go back and spend the entire winter there next winter. We'll see. And it's all thanks to real estate. Real estate has really changed my life. And that's why I'm such a big proponent. That's why I teach this so much, because I'm such a big believer in the power of real estate investing. So if you guys are looking for a way to change your life, to make it better, to be able to travel more, to be able to do more cool things, spend more time with your family, hang tight. Now, I understand that I'm not some super, multi-billionaire or whatever, but real estate has given me both equity and cash flow, enabling me to live life on my terms. So if you're interested in that, if you're not just, you just don't want to have $10 million on the mattress, but you want to have an amazing life because of real estate, I want to show you guys how that can happen. So before we go any further, I want you guys to answer this question. Number 1, are you committed to this? Are you committed? Now, not everyone's going to say yes, but I want you, if you are committed already, and I'm going to ask this question again at the end of the webinar, that's why I like to do it. I want to just know, are you committed today to using real estate investing to change your life? Now, here's why I ask that question. Because people say all the time they're committed to things, right? They say they're committed. Well, on the podcast a few weeks ago, somebody said this, and I love this line. Show me your calendar, and I'll tell you whether or not you're a real estate investor. And I'm not going to look at your guys' calendar here, but the point is this. If you're truly committed, I want to encourage you guys to focus in today. If you truly believe real estate can help you, what's an hour of your time? Focus in for the next hour, right? You invest 1 hour of your time, maybe hour and 15 minutes. We'll probably go over a little bit because I always do, because I talk a lot. What is that in compared to 10, 20, 30, 50 years ahead of you of financial freedom? And number 2, I want you to answer this in the chat area as well. Why? Why are you committed? Why real estate investing? What are you doing this for? What is your why? I'm a big believer in that, because that's what drove me to get to where I am today. Look, when I was 21, I didn't have anything. I didn't know anything, but I knew I wanted 2 things in life. I knew that when I had a kid someday, when I had a little kid, a baby, which I didn't have at the time, I knew that I wanted to be the best dad in the world. My dad was an amazing dad, but he worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I never saw him. He worked all the time. We hardly ever did things we never went fishing. He tried, but he worked all the time. I knew I did not want to be like that for my kids. So I hustled until now. I have a little girl. Her name's Rosie. She's 1 year old. And I spend almost all of my time. Seriously, I spend probably 23 hours a day with Rosie. It's amazing. Second reason why I do it, I love to travel. I love to travel. Like I said, I try to leave home at least a third of the year and not be at my house. I don't want to be somewhere else because I just love to see the world. So what's your why? Gwen said retirement, financial freedom. I love that. Lisa said generational wealth. That's huge, right? I want to pass on something great to my kids. Kevin said there doesn't appear to be any other financial vehicle capable of achieving my financial goals in the time frame I require. That's huge, Kevin. You're right? Let's say you wanted to become a millionaire through stocks. That takes years and years and years, and unless you have a lot of money to start with, that takes a long time, right? But with real estate, you can replace cash with creativity. That's one thing I love about it. Jason said family time and financial freedom. Andy said no job for the rest of my life. I love that. Christine said freedom from the rat race. Leah said don't want to work for anyone else. Lots of freedom. Love that stuff. Love that stuff, guys. To build momentum to achieve freedom because it's creative. Sky said, I want to wake up and hit the snooze button. Oh, I love that. I love that. Multiple streams of income. Awesome. All right, now keep that stuff in mind because listen up. This is tough. Real estate can be tough sometimes. And most people quit. I'm going to say that again. Most people quit. I probably I've been doing these webinars now for like 2 years on Bigger Pockets every single week. I can probably count on like, I don't know, 2 hands and 2 feet, like maybe a little more than that. But I can only, like, a very small percentage of people ever email me later and say, hey, Brandon, I went out and bought a property. I just closed on my first deal. Like Cindy said earlier, she's close to getting that first fourplex. The reason I love that so much is because I know how hard that is, because so many people don't do it because they're not committed and they don't have a serious why. So if you guys have that, let's jump in. Why single family houses? There's a lot of reasons, but let me just run through them quickly. I love single family houses in real estate because they're everywhere. You can find a single family house in every town in America. They're all over the place. Some areas aren't real great for multifamily. Some aren't great for, commercial. Some areas aren't great for a lot of things, but single family houses, they're everywhere. They're also easy to understand. Most people understand how to buy a house. Like, even if you've never bought one before, most of your family and friends have bought one. They're easy to understand. They're also easy to sell because everybody wants to buy a single family house, right? Financing is very simple as well. You don't have to go through anything really complicated. You just go to the bank and you get a loan, or you get, there's a lot of ways to get financing, but it's fairly simple. Most people can understand it. Also, with houses, you can get really good cash flow. Some houses, in fact, a buddy of mine who just got into real estate, he got inspired through Bigger Pockets to go get into real estate investing. He started coming to some of these webinars. He got super excited about real estate. He shoots me over a message the other day and yesterday and says, hey, can you help me analyze this deal? Now, I don't do that for most people because I'm super busy and I never could, but he's a good friend of mine. So I go look at his numbers and he found a deal. Somebody approached him that he knows, wants to sell him their property. This thing was going to cash flow like $600 a month after setting aside money for everything. He's going to be just making an extra $600 from one property. Man, and he's going to have like $40,000 in equity in this property. That's the great thing about houses, that you can get cash flow and appreciation. Over time, that house should climb in value. Also, it can be easier to manage a single family house. I tend to get better quality tenants with my single family houses than I do with my multifamily. I really like renting single family houses. They stay longer. They take care of the property better. The property it's just so much easier to manage. Also, a house, you can improve it in a lot of ways. And you guys saw what I did with my bathroom, right? Like, you can do that in houses. It's fun. I love that kind of stuff. I love taking nasty looking houses and making them amazing. And also, like I said a minute ago, I guess I could have combined these two in one, but tenants tend to take better care of those properties. My houses tend to last a lot longer before I have to rehab them than my multifamily. So there's just a few reasons why I love single family. Now, are they the only way? Of course not. There's a lot of ways to invest in real estate. Like I said, I do mobile home parks. Well, I'm trying to do mobile home parks. So if anybody has a mobile home park, hit me up. I do multifamily. I'd like to get into commercial. They all work, right? They all work. However, there's a special place in my heart for single family houses because of the reasons just talked about. They're a lot of fun. So with that, let's talk about the 3 ways to generate $5,000 a month from rental houses. You guys got your worksheet out, biggerpockets.com/SFR worksheet, hopefully. All right, let's go. 3 ways to generate $5,000 a month. Now, understand that if one of these don't work, we're going to go over 2 other methods, right? We're doing 3. That's why I do this, because I don't want people going, that won't work for me. I quit. I'm going to go back to watching Dancing with the Stars. And then they shut their life off and nothing ever changes, right? My favorite quote ever, or one of them, Jim Rohn said, life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change, right? So you got to change something in your life. So I'm going to give you 3 different avenues you could do to change your life to get that $5,000 a month. Method number 1, it's called the return on investment method. The return on investment method. So here's how it works. Understand this simple premise, that $5,000 a month is $60,000 a year. That's really fancy math. I just took 5,000 times 12, right? Can we all nod and smile? 5,000 a month times 12 is 60,000. Good job. So how much would it take for me to make $60,000 a year in interest on an investment? Well, if I had $500,000 and I was earning 12% on my money, which I don't buy property unless I can get at least 12%. That's just my numbers. And I'm able to find that all the time. It's not that tough. I don't buy something unless I can get at least 12%. So if I had $500,000 and I invested it at 12%, I could have $60,000 a year. Therefore, method number 1, the return on investment method, is if I had $500,000 invested at 12%, it'd be $5,000 a month. Does that make sense? Good. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. I don't have $500,000, Brandon. Duh. Okay. That's all right. I totally understand that. And I know that only probably 5% of the people here have that. However, for some people here, that's life-changing thought. Like, wow, I could just invest my 500 grand or, like that could change my life. So the question is, can you invest 12% or $500,000 in real estate and get 12%? Most of you would say no. However, what about 50 grand a year for 10 years? Could you do that? That's also $500,000. Could you do that? Now, a lot of you are saying, no, I still can't do that. I cannot live frugally enough, or I can't generate extra money to be able to invest $50,000 a year. All right, well, how about this? What if you flipped 2 houses a year and you took the profit from those flips and you put that towards your $50,000 a year for 10 years? Could you do that? Well, now that sounds a lot more reasonable, right? You could flip 2 houses a year, right? And make 25 grand a piece. I wouldn't do a flip if I didn't make 25 grand at least. In fact, a lot of people are doing flips. A lot of people I know do flips. They won't touch a flip unless they make at least $80,000. So there are ways to generate extra money to be able to reinvest back into rental properties, but maybe that's not for you. Don't worry. We've got 2 more methods to cover. Cool? All right. So let's go to method number 2. This is the method that I used when I first got started, and it made a lot of sense for me. And in a way, I still do it. So it's called the cash flow per house method. Now, when I learned this kind of strategy, it kind of blew my mind. It goes like this. How much cash flow do you want per house? How much cash flow do you want per house? Now, for me, let me back up. What are we talking about when we say cash flow? I want us all to get on the same page because people have different definitions for things. When I'm saying cash flow, I mean actual, real cash flow averaged over time. Now, what I mean by that is this. If this month you made $100 in cash flow, next month you made $500, the month after you made $200, the month after you lost $1,000, the month after that you made $500, we're going to average that out over time. And how much cash flow do you want per month? Also, we're going to make sure we account for things like, vacancy, right? The property's going to sit empty part of the year. Or, what about repairs? You got to fix the property up once in a while. What about rehabs? What about putting a new roof on every 20 years? So when I say cash flow, I'm talking about the money left over after every single thing has been paid out, including the mortgage, including all utilities and everything. How much left at the end of the day in my pocket? And then the question is, how many houses do you need of that to get $5,000 a month? Let me give you guys an example. So for me, my number is $200 per house in cash flow. That's what I look for. So I told you guys earlier, I look for at least 12%, but I also look for at least $200 per house in cash flow. So the question is, 200 times how many properties is $5,000 a month? For those math geniuses out there, it's 25 houses. So if I bought 25 houses and every house was giving me $200 a month, that means I'd be making $5,000 in cash flow, right? And we're not even talking about the equity involved and the fact that the loan's getting paid down every month and that the properties are going up in value. We're not talking about any of that. We're just talking cash flow. Another reason I love real estate is there's a lot of different ways to make money with the same deal. But anyway, so 25 houses. Now I know a lot of you are saying, well, I can never buy 25 houses. That's way too many. I'm going to go back to watching my Dancing with the Stars. I think Bob Saget's on it tonight, right? I don't think he is. Sorry. A bunch of people are like, Bob Saget. All right. How do you acquire 25 houses? The key to real estate for me, the thing that really like flipped a switch in my head was when I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in that book, Robert Kiyosaki says, the poor people say, I can't afford it. The rich people ask, how do I afford it? So again, poor people say, I can't afford it. Rich people ask, how do I afford it? Does that make sense? So if you're saying, I can't buy 25 houses, your brain shuts off. You stop talking, right? You just say, you know what? I don't know. I'm done. I'm going to go back to watching TV. But when you ask the question, how do I buy that? Well, now your brain starts working. So let's talk about how could you buy 25 houses? Well, what if you bought 2 every year for 12 years? Would that be impossible? Do you guys think that would be tough? Might be a little tough, right? But not impossible. I buy a lot more than 2 a year. What if you bought 5 a year for 5 years? Would that be possible? Maybe if you want to hustle a little bit. That's a little more work. What if you bought 10 this year and 20 or 15 next year? If you guys listen to the Bigger Pockets podcast episode that came out today with Brett Snodgrass, he's doing 25 a month. He's doing 25 a month. And there's people out there complaining they can't do one deal a year or 2 deals a year, right? I mean, come on. Like, it's all about perspective. Like, are you going to work at it or not? Do you want it bad enough or not? Right? It can be done. So don't tell me it can't, because I'll just point to somebody or point to myself and say, yeah, I did it. He did it. She did it. Right? All right, moving on. Number 3. Now, this is my favorite, guys. I love this strategy. It's called the Burr strategy, also called the long flip, but I like Burr better because it's fun to say. Burr. Sounds like I'm really cold. It stands for this: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Now, let me explain what that means. So you buy a property for a certain amount, and you use short-term money. Now, what does that mean? Well, there's a lot of different sources of short-term money. Maybe you have cash, just enough cash to buy it. Maybe you have a line of credit. Maybe you've got a partner who can come up with the money. Maybe you have just a personal loan from the bank. Maybe you have a hard money lender. Maybe you have a private money loan. That's what I use. I use private money, which means, people that I know, people that I've networked with, other real estate investors who I offer a good interest rate to, and then I borrow their money. In fact, I even do some private lending to people that I know really well. And so I buy the property and then I fix it up. I make it look beautiful. And then I rent the property out. I find a good tenant who wants to live in this great new fixed up house. I rent it out. And the great part of this is the house is already fixed up, which means my repairs are less, my maintenance less. Because it's such a beautiful house, I attract really good tenants that pay top dollar. It's really great to rent out a nice house. Then I go to the bank and I do a refinance, which means I get a brand new loan so I can pay off the short-term money. So I pay off the short-term money so I can get a long-term mortgage, like a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage, right? That keeps the payment really, really low. And then I repeat the process because now my short-term money is freed up. I can do it again and again and again. Let me give you guys a real-life story. So I bought a fourplex for my little girl, Rosie, my little daughter, Rosie, the week she was born. I bought her a fourplex. I bought it for $45,000. Was that a good deal? Heck, yes, it was a good deal. However, $45,000 means that it needed a ton of work. So I ended up doing $120,000 worth of work on the property. Not me personally, but the contractors did $120,000 worth of work. So I bought the property. I bought it for $45,000. I spent $120,000 rehabbing it. And now we rent it out for about $2,800 a month total. So between all the units, we get about $2,800 a month. The tenants all pay their own water, sewer, and garbage. So I don't have any bills other than, the vacancy repairs when they come up. But things don't break very much because it's all completely renovated. Now I'm in the middle of a refinance. The refi should be done here in the next couple of weeks. I just actually heard from my lender like an hour ago. He should be done in the next couple of weeks. Once that happens, guys, my short-term money, I bought it with a private loan from somebody I met on Bigger Pockets. Once that happens, I can go and redo that again. And in fact, I have done that again multiple times since, but I can repeat over and over and over and over and over. And so I repeat the process. And the beautiful part about that deal is twofold. Let me tell you about why I love this deal so much. Number one, this property cash flows like $1,000 a month. Let me repeat that. This property cash flows like $1,000 a month. That's $250 per unit, right? Now that's a multifamily, but I've done the same thing with single family. In fact, a number of times. That property is now going to be put on a 15-year mortgage, which means even after paying the mortgage payment every month, I'm making my $1,000 a month. So that's money for me. But in 15 years, that property will be paid off to nothing. In 15 years, I won't owe anything on it. I won't owe any money on it in 15 years. So what happens, guys, in 15 years from now? What am I going to be facing in 15 years from right now? That's right. I got a little girl named Rosie. She's 1 year old right now. She'll be 16. She'll be looking at colleges. She'll have a year or two left, but she'll be so smart. She'll probably be in college already, right? Because she's my daughter. But I'm going to have a nice, expensive $200,000 college bill coming up. But guess who's paying for her college? That's right. That property. That's why. Brienne asked a really good question. But when you refinance, aren't you becoming deeper in debt? You're right. I'm going to take on $160,000 in debt on that property. But now this is a long conversation we're not going to have today, and it's a big debate. How bad is debt? Well, here's the deal. I'm not paying that debt payment. My tenants are every month. Every month they pay it. In fact, they're paying that loan off over the next 15 years, which means that essentially my tenants are paying for my daughter's college education through the burst strategy. I'm not paying for it. She's not paying for it. My tenants are paying for it. I love the BRRRR investing. I love this stuff a lot. Kara said, I don't understand refinancing. So here's the deal. Refinancing is where you get a brand new loan. Like I just go to the bank and say, hey, can I get a new loan to pay off the old loan? So right now I'm in the process of getting a new loan. That's all I'm doing. Jason said there's a limit of the houses you can refi. Well, I've never heard, unless you know otherwise, I've never heard a law saying that I can't refinance a house. I'm assuming you're talking about Fannie Mae limits of having 10 refinanced properties. Yeah, sure, there's 10. But as soon as I hit my limit of 10, I just go to a commercial lender or a portfolio lender. Not a big deal at all. I have more than 10. In fact, almost every single investor we've had on the Bigger Pockets podcast, 250 episodes, I would say 2/3 of them have more than 10 rental units. How are we doing it? There's many ways to get back. Yeah, Freddie and Fannie guidelines say you can only have 10 loans, but I don't use Fannie and Freddie loans anymore hardly at all. I use primarily portfolio loans or commercial loans. So there's always a way around it. Again, some people say it can't be done and I can't do it. And other people ask, how do I do it? So Sky said, can you use a normal mortgage as short-term money? You can, but most mortgage companies don't like to loan on nasty properties. And the BRRRR method works best with nasty properties. So moving on, I'm going to get to a few more questions later, but I don't want to tie up too much with Q&A here. But hang tight. I did not get your question yet. I know there's a bunch of them there, but hang tight. We'll talk about this a little later. So here's an example. I'm going to purchase a property, say for $150,000, right? Let's say I purchase a house for $150,000. And then I go and put $20,000 of work into it. You know, maybe it needs a new roof, it needs some paint, interior and exterior, it needs a new carpet. Now I'm going to rent that property out for $2,000 a month for the next 5 years. Okay. Now after 5 years, because prices tend to go up over time, or maybe 7 years or 3 years or whatever you want, but I like 5 years because it fits in this example. I'm going to sell it. Now prices have risen and it's now going to sell for $230,000 after 5 years. So after all my expenses, I'm going to clear $60,000. I'm going to clear $60,000. Okay. That's pretty good money, right? But it took 5 years to get $60,000. So here's the question. What if you bought one deal a year? That's it. What if you bought one house, you rehabbed it, you fixed it up, you rented it out, and you refinanced it? What if you just buy one house per year? And then 5 years from now, you start selling one per year. So then every year you buy one and sell one. Well, based on the numbers we just looked at, you could make $60,000 every single year after year 5. Your total income would be $60,000 a year, which of course is $5,000 a month. So you could effectively generate $5,000 a month in income within 5 years from now just by doing one deal a year. Now, yes, there are some things that have to work out just right. What if you couldn't get the house for $150,000? What if you couldn't sell it for $230,000? What if the market goes down? What if the market goes up, right? Yeah, this is not a perfect, like I can't predict the future. But the reason I love BRRRR investing is because it sets me up to win almost no matter what. Because I'm buying a property, I'm fixing it up, and now it's worth, if I did my numbers right, it's worth way more. So if the market crashes, I'm not underwater, great. I'm still cash flowing, great, right? But if the market improves, well, now I'm really doing well. On average, over the past 100 years, the U.S. real estate market has gone up by about 3% per year. So yeah, it might dip down, but then it'll go back up again. The beautiful part about BRRRR investing is that I can choose when I want to sell. I don't have to be market dependent. I can wait for the market to go up and then sell. So that's the BRRRR strategy. We can talk a lot more on that. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I did an entire webinar on that one topic, BRRRR investing. If you guys want to know more about that, make sure you watch that replay. So the way that Bigger Pockets webinars like this one work is we do live webinars like this. But if you want to watch unlimited replays afterwards, if you want to watch old webinars, like we have over 50 hours of webinars, you do have to be a Bigger Pockets Pro member. If you're not a Pro member, you don't even know what that is, hang tight. I'm actually going to give some people a discount code later. So if you're on the fence, you're like, hey, I kind of want to join Pro. Let me give you guys a discount code later. So don't do it until then. But you do have to be a Pro member to watch old webinars. So make sure you guys check those out. All right. Let's talk about how to finance a rental house, because a lot of you guys are saying, well, I can't do this because I don't have any money. Okay, let's talk about that. First of all, there's a lot of ways to finance a rental house. And I think I've done every single one of these. You could go to the bank and get a conventional loan. That means you put down 20% or maybe 25% and you go and buy a property. A lot of people do that. Nothing wrong with that. Another option, and conventional loans, these are the ones that limit you to 10. You can only have 10. And some banks only let you have 4. That's the conventional loan. Then there's the portfolio loan. That's where you go to what's called a portfolio lender. They're usually small local community banks or credit unions, and they lend their own money. They don't lend the government's money. They don't lend Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's money. And you don't need to understand what that is, but basically the government lends out money to banks so they can buy houses, so they can give mortgages. They give money to banks so they can give mortgages, but then you have to play by the government's rules. So portfolio lenders lend their own money, which means they don't have the same rules. Another option, I use this a lot back when I didn't have any money to invest, partnerships. If you don't have any money, but you got time or you got hustle or you got motivation and determination, go find somebody who doesn't have determination, but they've got money. There's a lot of people in today's world that have money and don't know what to do with it. You can be the guy who puts together or the girl that puts together the deal. I love partnerships, man. I use so many partnerships. In fact, I got a partner right now in the mobile home park thing because I could do it all myself, but why would I want to? I love partners. I love bringing multiple people to the table. Next, home equity loans. You can get, if you have good equity in your current primary residence, the house you live in, or a rental property already, you can get a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit. Lease options are another good way. You can rent to own someone's house. That's how I bought my 24-unit apartment complex. I did a lease option on it. And other just creativity in general. Like, how creative can you get? You guys know the deal I told you I closed on last Monday, just a few days ago? You know how I got that deal? I got that through a seller finance deal. Like, the seller who owned the property ended up financing the deal for me. Pretty cool, right? So that's the deal. Creativity can get you a lot of good stuff if you just put together the right things. So I want to give you guys an action step. I don't want this all to be theory. I want you to get some action steps. So if you are wondering, well, this is great, Brandon, but how do I take action on this? Here you go. I want to encourage you guys to do 2 things tonight or tomorrow, within 24 hours. Contact a local lender to find out your ability to borrow from a bank. So, maybe you can just go to a bank and get a loan. That would be a good way to start, but maybe you can't. But at least go contact a lender within 24 hours and find out your ability. Have them check your credit and have them check your income and tell you where you stand and where you need to get financing. And the second actionable step is read the first book I wrote called The Book on Investing in Real Estate with No and Low Money Down. It's all about creative finance. Every chapter is on a different strategy. So you can kind of read all of it, kind of get a smorgasbord of different strategies. So check that out. Now, how do you find rental houses? How do you find rental houses? And again, a lot of people are saying, I can't find any good deals. I'm going to go back to watching TV. Well, here's just a few ways to find them. Number 1, you could use the MLS. That means you get a real estate agent and then have them start looking for deals for you. Now, there are a lot of people right now looking on the MLS, but it doesn't mean you can't find deals. I still find deals on the MLS all the time. It doesn't mean you can't. However, it's tough. You got to be quick. You got to be smart. If you want to know more about that, I did an entire webinar on that topic as well. But moving on, direct mail marketing. Direct mail is where you send out letters and you get a certain percentage of people to call you. So for example, last spring, I sent out 300 letters to landlords in my area. Out of those 300 letters, I got back like 40 phone calls. Out of those 40 phone calls, I made a bunch of offers and I ended up buying one of the properties. You know what property that was? The fourplex for $45,000 off a piece of direct mail marketing. So does direct mail marketing work? Of course it does. The guy today who is doing 25 deals a month, Brett Snodgrass on the Bigger Pockets podcast, how's he getting his deals? He's getting a lot of them through direct mail marketing. Another option, driving for dollars. If you don't have a lot of money, what you do is you get in your car, you drive, and you look for vacant properties. Drive up and down every street in your neighborhood or whatever market you want to buy in and look for vacant properties. Then go home and find out who owns those properties and send them a letter or give them a phone call. Another option, Craigslist. Not only can you go to Craigslist to post an ad, which you could and you probably should, but you can also go to Craigslist and look at all the mom and pop landlords, all of the landlords out there that are listing their properties for rent. Call them up. They give you their phone number in the ad. Like, how easy can it be? They're like, hey, I got a property for rent. Here's my number. So you call them up and be like, hey, I saw your ad in Craigslist. I'm actually not looking to rent, but I am looking to buy a property. Do you happen to have any for sale? Now, 9 out of 10 times or 7 out of 10 times, they'll say no, right? That's okay. And then, but every once in a while, you're going to get somebody that says, yeah, I might if the price was right. Or, yeah, I hate my rental property. I'd love to sell it. Because here's a little simple truth about real estate. This is a simple truth. Most landlords suck. They're terrible. They don't know how to manage properties. And so they're always having a hard time. They're always stressed. They're irritated. Their tenants are not paying them rent. They're broke. They're losing their houses to foreclosure. So call them up, talk to them, right? And this is just 4 ways to find deals. There's a lot of other ways. Like you can connect with wholesalers. You can use like Zillow, right? You can door knock if you wanted to. There's a lot of ways to find deals. But the point is, like, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And if not, you won't. So here's a very simple action step. Within 24 hours, if you do not have a local real estate agent in your area working with you, find one. Go to Facebook, ask your family and friends for recommendations, and then connect with a few local agents, interview them. And by Sunday night, I want every single person here to have the name of a real estate agent that you can work with. I want to give you a short deadline. You have till Sunday to have a real estate agent you can work with. If you don't have one right now, that is your mission. Sound good? Now listen, you don't have to buy on the MLS to have a real estate agent. Just get a real estate agent you can talk with, you can bounce ideas off of, that can set you up with automatic alerts. You guys, this is huge. Get an automatic email alert every time a property comes on the market that meets your criteria. Because then when that deal comes in your inbox, you go and analyze it, you run the numbers, you find out how much it's worth, and then you make an offer, right? It's that simple. Now, is it that easy? Of course not, right? This takes work. Let me tell you guys an example. I have a house, I call it the hell house. A hell house. Now, like a lot of people might be tempted to think when I'm talking about how great single family houses are, they say, great, I'm just going to go out and buy a single family house. But understand that 99% of the houses out there are not going to be a good deal. 90% of the deal or 99% of the houses out there are not going to be a good deal. You have to analyze for the best. So here's an example of why you can't just buy a deal because it might be cheap or because you think it's a good deal. I bought this house. I call it the hell house. And like I paid $40,000 for it. That's a great deal, right? I put about $40,000 into it. So now I've got $80,000 into it. Still seems like a pretty cheap price, right? You know what? I lose money every single month on that property. Every year. I've had bad tenant after bad tenant after bad tenant. I've had to rehab that house like 5 times. Not every deal works. Most do not work. Don't buy a hell house. You know why I bought that hell house? Because I was stupid and I didn't run the numbers very well. Understand, you guys, that like I said this a minute ago, I'll say it again, 99% of the properties out there are not really deals. You have to analyze for the best. You've got to analyze for them. And that's the amazing part about real estate is that every deal has a number. Every deal out there, you can find what number makes sense, right? Now, of course, some deals are so bad that might be negative, but like I've found those deals before. But like every deal out there has a number that makes it a home run. Your job is to find that number and go to bat. Swing. In other words, make an offer, right? Find the number that makes sense, make an offer. You will fail 90% of the time. 90% of the time you will fail. Now, in high school and in middle school, they train you that 90% failure is an F. You're an idiot. You're stupid if you fail 90% of the time. You know what happens if you fail 90% of the time consistently with real estate? You become a millionaire. Let me say that again. What happens when you fail 90% of the time with real estate? You become a millionaire. Why? Because it just means if you can consistently get 10% of your offers accepted, why not offer 10 times every month? Why not offer 10 times every week? Right? That's how simple real estate is. If you want to buy more properties, make more offers. If you want to make more offers, just analyze more deals. And if you need more deals to analyze, generate more leads. That's all real estate investing is. If you want to scale your business, find success, make $5,000 a month in income, make $50,000 a month in income. That's all it is. Whether you're trying to buy a single family house, a multifamily, a commercial property, it's the same thing. You generate leads, you analyze those leads, you find what number makes a home run deal, and then you make an offer. And every once in a while, those offers are going to be accepted. So how do we analyze single family deals? If it all comes down to the numbers, if analysis matters so much, how do we find out what that home run number is? How do we find out what number makes it worth buying? Well, to do that, we're going to run the numbers. Now, there are 2 ways to do the numbers. You can do it by hand, and a lot of people do that. It takes probably half hour, 40 minutes to run the numbers by hand, but I don't like doing that that way because I make mistakes that way. I don't like making mistakes, right? And it takes way more time than I have. I do not have time to analyze deals I analyze deals every day, right? I don't have time to spend 2 hours a day analyzing deals. If you have that much time, good for you, but I don't. I have a little 1-year-old girl. I've got like numerous things going on in life. I'm trying to write another book. I don't have time. So what I use is the Bigger Pockets rental property calculator or the BRRRR calculator, right? The Bigger Pockets BRRRR calculator. Let me show you guys what that is. I'm actually, before we go, so we're going to do Q&A. We're going to do the final door prizes. But before we get there, we're probably going to go about 10 minutes over today. I hope that's cool. Before we get to all of that, I want to walk you guys through how I analyze a deal. Does that sound good? You guys up for that? How do we decide if a deal is worth buying or not? So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Let me find where I do that. Hold on. You might lose me for just a second while I do this. And again, if you lose me entirely, if the webinar crashes, we'll go over to Facebook Live. But let me just try this. Share my screen here, and what I'm going to do, I know it takes a little bit to come back into the screen, so you guys might just be jumping in right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze a deal using the Bigger Pockets suite of calculators. We have a flipping calculator, a rental calculator, a wholesale calculator, and a BRRRR calculator. So to start that, I'm just going to click here to start your analysis. If you go to biggerpockets.com/analysis, you can get to that page, or just go up to tools and choose your calculator. Now, we have 4 main options. We have the fix and flip one, the rental property, the BRRRR, and the wholesaling calculator. I want to do BRRRR since we already talked about BRRRR tonight. I'm going to do a BRRRR one. And let me actually pull this up. Let me pull this up. And, all right, hold on. Bear with me one second. I want to show you guys this one that I already analyzed because I wanted this to go really fast. In reality, it only takes about 5 minutes to analyze a deal, which is one thing that I love about analyzing deals with Bigger Pockets. It's so fast. You can do it in under 5 minutes, but I want to make it really quick here so I can walk you guys through and explain some things. So first of all, there's 3 pages to this calculator. The BRRRR calculator has page 1, page 2, page 3, and then the results. That's it. So it's very, very simple to use. Page 1, I'm just doing some of the property information. By the way, somebody asked, what's the difference between the BRRRR fix and flip? Is the rental part? Yeah, fix and flip means I'm going to sell it. BRRRR means I'm going to fix it up and hold it. Good question. All right, so here's the deal. I got the Central Park house. I got it. The taxes were $1,400 a month. If you don't know how to figure that out, or if you don't know how to figure out anything on this calculator, guys, just hover over the question marks and it'll actually teach you how to do it. So taxes were around $1,400 a year. Down here, I uploaded a photo, and I explained in the description what the property was about. Everybody feeling comfortable at this point? I can also put address, city, state, zip in there as well. That's it for page 1. Nod your head if you're feeling good. Say, I'm feeling good. All right, good. Page 2 is all about the purchasing of the property and the loans that go into it. Now, remember, we're talking about the BRRRR property here, which means we're going to buy it with short-term money. And then later, we're going to refinance it with long-term financing. Now, you don't have to do that. If you want to just buy it with a straight loan, just do the rental property calculator. But because we're going to do 2 loans, this accounts for both. So first of all, I'm going to buy this property. The guy told me he would sell it to me for $80,000. So I'm going to check $80,000. The after repair value, what's it worth when it's all fixed up? I think it's worth about $175,000. Now, if I don't know how to figure that out, check this out. Hover over the question mark. There's even a link to an article that explains how to find that out. But this will explain pretty detailed how to figure out your ARV. Then we got closing costs. We've got repair costs. Now, if you're not very good at estimating repairs, which a lot of people struggle, check this thing out. If you click expand costs, it actually is a estimation tool built right into the calculator to help you guys know how to analyze how to estimate it. So we just go step by step. How much is the roof, the concrete, the gutters, the garage, the siding, the landscaping? And these categories coordinate perfectly with Jay Scott's book on estimating rehab costs, which is an amazing book. You guys should read it. So this property that I'm looking at needs $45,000 worth of work. Now, below that, I've got our purchase loan. When I buy the property with short-term money, I'm going to get a loan for $80,000 from the seller. He's going to do seller financing at 8%. And after 12 months, I'm going to refinance it. into a new loan for, let's say, $110,000. Now, if you don't follow all of what I'm talking about here, it's totally fine. It might be a little confusing the first time, but it's actually very, very simple. You guys can just walk through it on your own later. So just stay with me here. The new loan that I get, I figure probably about 5% interest. And I probably got to pay a little bit in closing costs to refinance it. I got to go to a bank and they're going to charge me all these closing costs to refinance it. So probably about $3,000 there. And then I've got the new loan. Like, how long do I want it for? 30 years or 15 years? I like 30-year mortgages typically because they keep the payment the lowest. But sometimes I do 15 if I really want to. And that's pretty much it for page 2. Now we're going to page 3. It's all about the rental information. The rental information. In other words, how much is it going to rent for? Well, $1,300 a month about. If you don't know how to find that out, hover over the question mark. Below that, we've got our expenses. But another thing I love about single-family houses is that the tenant in a single-family house usually pays electricity. They usually pay water, sewer. They usually pay the garbage. I have to pay insurance and taxes, but that's usually about it. Below that, we've got things like vacancy, repairs and maintenance, CapEx, which are like a new roof every 20 years or appliances every 15 years. We've got our property management fees. You guys, I don't want to manage this property myself. I'd rather have somebody else manage it. So I'm going to budget in money for that. And below that, we've got our future assumptions. Now, you can keep this blank if you want to, but I like to put in, what do I think it's going to do in the future? I said earlier that properties have gone up about 3% every year for the past 100 years. So I just did a little less than that. I want to be a little more conservative. So 2% income growth, 2% property value, 2% expenses. And lastly, when I sell the property someday, I need to pay a real estate agent to sell it. I got to pay closing costs. So I usually estimate around 9% for sales expenses. Now, if you don't know any of these numbers, just hover over the question mark and you'll learn a ton. All right, with that, that's it. We're going to calculate the results. Let's see what we got, you guys, on this deal. This is the Burr house that I was looking at a couple weeks ago, deciding whether or not I wanted to buy it or not. And here we go. This house, we've got after the refinance, after the 1-year refinance, I should be getting about $192 a month in cash flow and a cash-on-cash return of 11.29%. About 11.29%. That's pretty good, right? Now, what did I tell you guys earlier that I look for? I look for at least $200 a month in cash flow and a 12% cash-on-cash return. In other words, this deal doesn't quite meet what I look for. It's really, really close. So what should we do? Should we go back to watching TV and give up? No, of course not, right? Every deal has a number that makes sense. So check this out. In less than a minute, I can go back and reanalyze this deal and figure out how much I should really pay for it in order to buy it. So here I go, instead of $80,000, what if instead I paid $78,000 for this deal? Think that's possible? And then instead my loan was for $78,000 and my other loan was for $109,000. And then I didn't change anything else. Let's say nothing else changed. I'm going to redo the numbers. And let's say at 78 doesn't work. It might be pretty close. Oh, look at that. Now we're at 12.2 and $198 a month in cash flow. We're so close, right? Now, obviously, you guys, this is the property I just bought right here. This is the property. Let me actually show you guys a picture of it, a before and after. We actually rehabbed a big chunk of it this week. Let me actually do this. Go over here to this. All right, you guys see it? So the top is the before. The bottom is what we did just in the last couple of days. Mowed it, painted it, new front door. Now the inside still looks kind of gross, but this is the property that I bought, and now I'm going to be burring this property. And yeah, a lot of you are saying, well, $200 a month, that's not very much money. That sucks. Why are you doing that for $200 a month? You know what? It just adds to my collection. My goal is to just keep adding to my collection until I have the level like of financial success that I want, right? So that's what I'm looking at. That's what real estate's all about. I mean, if I buy 3 of those this year, that's $600 extra income every month. If I buy 3 more next year, that's $1,200 in extra income. And in reality, that's not all I'm doing. I'm looking at multifamily too. I'm looking at other things. And so it's all just about building that portfolio up and getting closer to financial freedom. Now, let's say 5 years from now, I sell this property for $200,000. And at the time, I'll have the mortgage paid off to about $100,000. I might clear $100,000 on this property 5 years from now. Is it possible? Entirely possible, right? Could I do one of these every year? Of course I could. That's the power of real estate investing. That's the power of running the numbers, right? And by the way, again, that $200 a month in cash flow that I'll be getting on this property, that's after setting aside money for all those things: repairs, vacancy, maintenance, all property management. I don't even have to deal with the property. I'll let somebody else deal with the whole thing, right? That's why I love real estate. I love this stuff. So moving on, let's go back. I want to talk about a few more things about how we can make this easier for you, because I know this is a big step for a lot of people. It's like, well, how do I get into this stuff? So let me transfer over, go back over to. By the way, are you guys enjoying this so far? Let me know in the chat area. You guys enjoying today's webinar so far? I like to get, I want to make sure that you guys are having a good time, because if not, then, we should probably find a way to liven this up a little bit. But I don't know about you guys, but I love analyzing deals. I love sitting there and saying, you know what, is this a good deal or a bad deal? What number makes sense? How much should I offer? Because this stuff is like life-changing, right? Why didn't nobody tell me when I first got started? Why didn't nobody tell me about this funnel, this idea of if I want more deals, I just need to offer more? Nobody talks about this stuff, but I find this stuff incredibly powerful. So a lot of people are enjoying this. That's good. All right, so stay tuned, guys. Like I said, we're going to go about 10 or 15 minutes over today. I hope you'll stay with me. We still got some other things to talk about. Before we get to the Q&A and the final door prizes, like that book, 7 Years of Seven-Figure Wealth, and the slides, I want to ask you guys 3 questions. You ready? Number 1. Are you committed to using your real estate to take control of your financial future? All that stuff we talked about today. Are you committed? Now, I asked you at the beginning. I want to ask you again now. And please answer in the chat area. This is really, really important. It's one thing to think in your head that I'm committed, but when you type something out or you say something out loud or you tell somebody, it makes it more real, right? Are you committed to using this stuff? Or are you just here to be entertained? Are you just here because you're like, I had nothing else going on tonight? If you're just here to be entertained, you should probably go, right? Because I want to see changed lives. Question number 2, do you now have an idea? You don't have to have it perfectly formulated, but do you have an idea of how you're going to make your first $5,000 a month from single family houses? Are you formulating a plan in your head? Is this getting you excited? Are you realizing the potential for this stuff? Yes or no? And 3, maybe the most important question of all. And again, answer in the chat area. Are you prepared to invest the time and hard work needed to make your dreams a reality? I said earlier, this might be simple, but it's not easy. It takes determination. It takes persistence. It takes some money. It takes some guts, right? Do you have the guts to invest in real estate? Do you have the guts to spend the time and the money needed to do it? Do you have the guts to learn what you need to do to get there? Are you prepared to invest the time and hard work? And it is an investment, right? It is an investment. Here's an example of somebody who did. I love this. This is what I want to hear from you guys. I want you to email me. I don't like when people email me, except for when you get these emails, because I hate email, but I love these emails. Dennis shot me an email and said, hey, Brandon, wanted to thank you and BP after attending your webinar on how to make $1 million in real estate, which is one I did a while back. I got inspired to take action. So last week, I closed on my first deal. I now have a triplex that is rented and will cash flow very well for me. I can now call myself a real estate investor. I have a plan moving forward that will make my business a success. Thank you. You guys, Dennis sent me this email like 3 weeks after attending that webinar, which means he left the webinar, he took massive action, and he changed his life forever. Right? But so many people come to these webinars and they learn cool things. They learn tactics and tools and tips. And then they go back to watching freaking Dancing with the Stars and changing nothing about their life. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. The number of people who ask me for advice and then don't do anything. Life is not going to get better by chance. It gets better by change. I said that earlier and I'll say it over and over. I'll say it every day for the rest of my life. Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Will you make that change in your life? Are you going to put this stuff into action? Are you going to start analyzing deals? Here's a challenge. I want to challenge you guys. I do this sometimes on these webinars because I love this challenge. I call it the 90-day challenge. And here's how it goes. Will you commit to analyzing one deal a day for the next 90 days? You can take the weekends off. I don't care. 90 like weekdays. Will you commit to analyzing one deal a day? It can take less than 5 minutes. I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care where you get the lead from. You can just go to the MLS. I don't care. Go to realtor.com or Zillow. It doesn't matter. The point is, will you commit to analyzing one deal a day? Here's why I challenge people to that. Do you think after 90 days of analyzing deals, you'll be more confident or less confident to buy your next property? Of course you'll be more confident, right? Do you think you'll maybe in those 90 analyses that take you 5 minutes a piece, do you think maybe over that time you'll find some deals that might work out? Do you think maybe you'll get the confidence to say, you know what, I want to kind of pursue this. I might go forward. I love people who take action. So the 90-day challenge is for people who want to take action. So here's what I want you guys to do. If you do that in 90 days from now, I want you to shoot me an email and let me know that you did. Let me know what's different in your life. If you buy a property, let me know. If you just get really good at analyzing deals, let me know. Shoot me an email, brandon@biggerpockets.com 90 days from now or less when you buy your property. That's the 90-day challenge. I want to see action. I want to see action takers. Love that stuff. All right, moving on. So if you guys answered yes, let me show you how BiggerPockets Pro, our pro membership, can help you get there faster and with less risk. Because understand that you have everything you need to succeed already. You don't need anything else. However, if you want to make it go faster, if you want to analyze more deals, if you want to be more organized how you analyze deals, if you want to learn, if you want to have all the information in one place, let me show you how they can do that. First of all, understand that this is what real estate feels like for a lot of you guys. I recognize that. It's scary. You're jumping off a cliff, it feels like. But that's not what real estate is. Real estate is this, and BiggerPockets Pro is this. We are all on the same path. We are on a hike. It's hard work, but it is a hike that we love to be on, and we want to help you guys get there. So this is how. BiggerPockets Pro is a collection of tools and networking skills designed to help you buy more properties, make smarter investments, and connect with others. How many of you guys want to buy more properties this year? Anybody? Anybody want to buy maybe another property or 2 or 5 this year? Probably, right? How many of you guys want to make smarter investment decisions? How many of you guys want to avoid? Here's a good question. How many do you want to avoid buying a hell house? How many of you guys want to avoid buying a hell house? A lot of you, right? Okay, I understand that. And how many of you guys want to connect with other investors who are crushing it in their business? So the way that we do that is through BiggerPockets Pro. That's the way that we do that. So I'm going to talk about Pro for like 5 minutes. If you don't care at all about BiggerPockets Pro, do me a favor. Go find some coffee. Go sit down. Go play with your kids. I don't care. If you think you have no need for BiggerPockets Pro, don't worry about it. I don't need to try to sell you on something that you don't want. But if you're thinking that maybe this might be good for you, stick around for the next 5 minutes. And let's talk about this. So BiggerPockets Pro is to help you make smarter decisions with unlimited use of the BiggerPockets analysis software. That software we talked about earlier, if you're a free member, you can use it up to 5 times for free. So go use it. Try it out. But if you want unlimited use of it, biggerpockets.com/analysis. If you want to use that every single day, you've got to sign up for BiggerPockets Pro. If you want to watch replays of past webinars, if you like these webinars, if you want to watch over 50 hours of the ones I've done in the past, things like how to buy small multifamily properties, how to make $1 million in real estate, 7 steps for building an empire, how to quit your job through real estate, how to attract private money to fund your deals. A lot of you guys, that webinar right there is worth tens of thousands of dollars to you. If you guys want to watch this, you got to be a pro member. If you want to post ads in the marketplace, if you want your profile to stand out with an enhanced signature, a video, this is huge, guys, for building trust, a video on your profile and that little pro badge that says, you know what? I'm serious about this. I'm fully committed because I put my money where my mouth is. That's BiggerPockets Pro. If you want to connect with investors all across the site, all around the country, use biggerpockets.com/meet. It's the greatest searching and sorting tool we have for finding people. If you're trying to find people in your area, if you want to find lenders, partners, mentors, whatever, BiggerPockets Meet is an amazing tool for our pro members. You can also download unlimited files and forms. You get expanded private message abilities. You get to access the pro-only forum. And you can see who's checking out your BiggerPockets Pro membership or your profile, which I think is kind of cool. I can see who's looking at my profile. And also, it helps support us. I mean, we believe in giving the education for free. I mean, yeah, you might buy spend $20 for a book, but we believe in giving the information as much as possible for free. That's why the webinars are free, the podcast is free, the blogs are free, the forums are free. We want you to use them to become successful. We offer tools to help you grow faster and to make less mistakes. I don't want you guys to buy a hell house. I do not want you to buy a hell house. So if you're thinking about Pro, if you're worried about buying a bad deal, it might be a great option for you. If you need bank suggestions, partners, or properties, I want to encourage you guys, think about Pro. If you need to connect with other real estate investors who can help you, if you're looking to get noticed by the community, or if you just want to support BiggerPockets, man, we would love to have you as a pro member. So does it all work? Is this going to make you instantly successful? Of course not. It's not going to make you instantly successful. You've got to work at it. But does it work if you work it? It does. And here's an example. David Green, good buddy of mine. He's the guy that lives in San Francisco. Craziest real estate market in the country, most expensive market. Put simply, this is what he said. Put simply, Bigger Pockets made me a millionaire. In addition to the calculators and the other benefits of being a pro member, has helped me build a solid reputation on BP that has led to clients, deals, and financing. David Green, full-time police officer, most expensive city in America. He didn't let those excuses get in his way. Another example, I love this. Just wanted to say thank you for the webinar. It was very informative and gave me several good ideas. I signed up for Pro and I used the calculator you demonstrated to evaluate and make offers on 2 deals I found. One was accepted, woohoo, currently listed on the marketplace. The other, the seller was unyielding in price even after I showed them the numbers. Oh well, they're lost. So again, just want to say hello and thanks. You guys, I bring this story up right here, this thing for one really cool reason. Not just that they signed up for Pro, that's cool. Not just that they took on the challenge and started analyzing deals, right? That's cool. It's not even that cool because they got a deal accepted. Like, that's awesome they got a deal, but that's not the best part. You know what the best part is? They didn't let emotion get in there and cause them to buy a bad deal. They were kind of flippant about it. Oh, well, they're lost. Like, they're flippant about it. They didn't let emotion. They're using math to guide their decisions to help them buy only good deals. So I love that. All right, so the big question is, how much is Bigger Pockets Pro? You know, we are not like all the gurus, right? Some of the gurus are charging $100,000 for their quote unquote education. Some guys are charging $50,000 or $20,000. We don't believe in that. This is not one of those $20,000 run to the back of the room kind of things. It's not even $10,000. I mean, it's not even $1,000, guys. Bigger Pockets Pro is $290 a year, not a month. That's $290 per year. That works out to less than $1 a day. But like I promised earlier, for those interested in going pro today, if you guys are interested in going pro today, write down on your worksheet, write down the coupon code SFR. SFR stands for single family residence. SFR, single family residence. Use that code. You guys will get 20% off your annual membership. So instead of $290, works out to $232 a year. $232 per year. So use coupon code SFR and you'll get that. Now, to encourage you guys, a lot of you guys are saying, well, you know, I might do it, I might not, I'm not really sure. Let me throw in a few bonuses for you just to encourage you guys to go pro tonight. If you guys sign up for a pro annual membership, the first thing you're going to get, in addition to all the stuff that just pro includes, is the most expensive thing we include on BP. This is the most expensive item we sell on all of Bigger Pockets. It's $300. It's called the 2012 Conference Audio. Back in 2012, we had a conference with some of the smartest real estate investors in the country. And we recorded the whole thing. There's over 25 hours of audio training there. So you don't have to pay $300. You can go to the Bigger Pockets store if you want and pay $300 for this. But we're going to include it tonight for free, for no extra charge for anybody who goes pro annual. Also, I'm going to give you guys a digital copy of my book, the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down. Look, if the biggest thing stopping you right now is financing, you no longer have an excuse. This book walks you through a dozen different strategies for investing in real estate using other people's money. In fact, Jay Scott, who wrote the book on flipping houses, he said, I would have loved to have this book when I first started investing. Brandon's book has given me amazing ideas on how to get my business to the next level. That's Jay Scott, you guys, the investor that I look up to more than almost any other. And that guy said that about this book. So definitely check that out. You get a digital copy tonight as well. Or if you'd rather listen to it in the car while driving around, walking the dog, go to biggerpockets.com/ I'll tell you in a minute the URL, but use that SFR when you're checking out. You'll get the audiobook version as well. Also, bonus 5 and 6, you'll get a digital bonus book called How to Find Incredible Real Estate Deals, which just walks you through a lot of the strategies we talked about on this webinar on how to find properties. And also, I did these interviews with some of the smartest investors I know. Ben Leibovich, Chad Carson, Jay Scott, Doug Larson, Mike Simmons, Michael Blanc, and Aaron Mazzarello. These 7 guys are some of the smartest, most creative investors I know. I sat down with them and just interviewed them and said, hey, how are you investing with creativity? And they just share everything. Finally, last bonus of the day. For those who are interested in going pro annual today, you're going to get a 2-hour video recording called How to Invest in Real Estate with No One Low Money Down live. And what that is just you and me basically sitting down on a video, and I walk you through my portfolio. How did I build up my portfolio using other people's money? I show you guys pictures, numbers, everything. You guys will love that. If you guys are interested in going pro tonight, I would highly encourage you to do so. Just go to biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade. Biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade, and you guys will get that. Biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade. There should be a little thing that pops up on your screen that says that as well. If you don't see it, just go to biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade and use coupon code SFR. SFR. With that, guys, we're going to go on to some Q&A. Does that sound good? Now, here's what I want to say. If you guys are going to go pro tonight, do me a favor. Let me know in the chat area. I want to give you guys a shout out. If you go pro tonight, or if you're doing it right now, let me know in the chat area. And Sandra said, pay for the year and use the code. It's only $232. Yeah, it's like 65 cents a day, guys. So understand, by the way, all this stuff is only for our annual membership. We do have a monthly option, but I never encourage that because, look, either you're in it or you're not. If you're in it, it's cheaper to go annual anyway, and you get the bonuses. So I generally encourage annual, but if you cannot afford the annual, we do have a monthly option. You just don't get all those cool bonuses. What you guys are going to see when you upgrade, you're going to see this page right here. It's got all your downloads right there. The free books, the audio book, the other book, everything is right here. So go ahead and download all those just by clicking on those links. And then make sure you scroll down the page. There's a bunch of videos like this that teach you how to use your pro membership. Watch those videos. They're only a couple minutes long each, and it teaches you how to use every aspect of your pro membership. Now, before we get out of here, guys, let's go to your final door prizes. I promised that, and then we're going to do some Q&A. Hang around. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Does that sound good? All right. So special gift number one, I gave this out at the beginning, but in case you were late, go to biggerpockets.com/books to get the top 20 real estate books every investor should read. Again, the top 20 real estate books every investor should read at biggerpockets.com/books. All right. Gift number 2 and 3. Go to biggerpockets.com/SFR slides. SFR slides to get the entire slide deck from today's webinar, all 138 slides. You can review all you want. Check that out. Keep it, print it all out, and put it on your wall, whatever you want to do. And lastly, final door prize of the day is biggerpockets.com/7 years. Biggerpockets.com/7 years. All right, so let's go to some Q&A. While the questions are coming in, let me answer this. If you're on the fence about pro, let me offer you a couple ideas. First of all, understand that we do have a Bigger Pockets Pro guarantee. We believe so strongly that Bigger Pockets Pro will help you achieve your goals. If you don't find it useful, we don't want you to use it. If you're not going to use it, don't have pro. So let us know within 30 days. Upgrade to Bigger Pockets Pro annual today. Try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, if you're not, it's not for me, I'm not digging it, no problem. Keep all the bonuses. It's over $500 worth of bonuses. It's yours to keep just for trying it out. So give it a try. There's really, literally no risk to trying it out. You won't hurt my feelings at all. I just want people to try it because I want you to see how easy it is to analyze deals. All right, guys. Last quote of the day. Karen Lamb says, I don't know who that is, but I love this quote. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. So just my final piece of advice before we go to the Q&A. Don't take what you learned today and then not apply it. Because a year from now, you'll look back and go, man, remember when I was on that webinar with Brandon? Why didn't I go out and buy a house? Why didn't I buy my first rental house back then? 10 years from now, you'll look back and say, why didn't I buy my first property back 10 years ago? 20 years from now, you'll say that. 50 years from now, you'll say that, right? Don't look back in your life and regret not starting. Just start. Just take steps every single day. Don't look back and regret it. Just start moving. All right, guys. If you're already a pro member, by the way, you want all these goodies, just go to biggerpockets.com/webinar/bonus. Biggerpockets.com/webinar/bonus. I don't want to leave you guys out. We have a plus membership. It's really only useful if you want to use the marketplace. I never recommend it. So if you're wondering, what about plus? I wouldn't worry about it. It's almost the same price with the discount anyway. So we're actually getting rid of our plus accounts anyway because they're just kind of not that helpful. I don't know. I think the current plus members will get grandfathered in, but it's just not that helpful. But if you are a current plus member, you can upgrade to pro. The computer does all the numbers and keeps it all together as well. So if you're a pro member right now, I'd highly encourage you. There's no reason not to go pro. All right, Q&A. I'm not a lawyer, accountant, doctor, or your mother. I do apologize. I actually tried to keep that 5 minutes total because I want to get to the Q&A. I think I went a little bit over, but we're 18 minutes over the hour today. But I hope you guys are okay with that. I had a lot of fun today, and I just want to do some Q&A. So let's just talk. What do you guys got? All right. What do we got? Let's see. Questions number 1. Let's see. Kevin asked a great question. I love this. Kevin said, how do you calculate repair costs without having visited the property first? I'm trying to analyze a deal as we speak, but I'm stuck. Great question. So Kevin, when I'm analyzing a deal before I look at it, you have to guess, right? You can't know for sure. But every deal I just round to the nearest like $20,000. Is it a $20,000 rehab, a $40,000 rehab, a $60,000 rehab? You just you have to guess when you're looking at a deal. Obviously, you're not going to buy a property without looking at it. but you can analyze the deal based on some guesses. So if you look at the pictures and it's just a complete pit, I might guess 40 or 50 or $60,000. But if I am like, look at it and it looks like it's just paint and carpet, I might guess 20. I usually don't do much less for 20 unless it's like a completely finished house. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's see. Hey, somebody said, hey, Brandon, I keep looking at this mobile home park, but it's too far from me. Maybe it's in your wheelhouse. I will definitely check it out. Thank you very much for shooting me over that link. Appreciate it. What else we got here? Sky said, when does the coupon code last till? That lasts till Sunday night at midnight. However, I would encourage you, if you're thinking about doing it, do it tonight, like right now, because I want to give you a shout out. I want to give a shout out to everybody on this webinar who goes tonight. So let me know if you're going to do it. All right. Lima said, I've got analysis paralysis. I'm going pro tonight. Yeah. What better way to overcome analysis paralysis than to like just start taking action and doing stuff? Like the best way to overcome analysis paralysis really is every day take a step. Every day take a step. I don't care if you work for 10 minutes a day on your business. Every day take a step. Every day take a step. All right. So let's do some shout outs and then some more questions. Let's see. I'm scrolling through this. We've got Lima. We've got Tyson. We've got Elizabeth. We got Aaron. We've got Oscar's a pro already. Oscar, you rock. Make sure you go to that biggerpockets.com/webinar/bonus. Sergio said, I'm in all caps. I love it. Love the enthusiasm. Let's see. Ted said, doing it now. Gwen said, going pro now. That's awesome. Nika said, I'm going annual. Whoop, whoop. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Brad said, I'm a pro. Whoop, whoop. Let's see. Zach's doing it. Awesome. Steve said, I became a pro during last week's webinar. Awesome. All caps. I love that. Steve, I hope you're analyzing some deals. You doing the 90-day challenge? Stephanie said, how do I upgrade from plus to pro? You're going to go to biggerpockets.com/pro upgrade. Do it the same way. You should take care of it there. Marilyn said, can I use your financial calculator in a PowerPoint presentation? So there's no like export option, but well, I mean, there is. I didn't show you guys this. Check this out. Hold on. I'm going to go show you. I got to show you one of my coolest features I love about the calculators. Check this out. Can you guys see my screen right now? Is it still working? Hopefully. All right. On the screen, scroll down to the bottom, go to more actions, and then you can download a PDF report of this. Check this out. You can download a PDF report of your analysis, which I find incredibly helpful if you're trying to work with partners or if you're trying to get lenders to look at your deal. Now, hold on. It's coming. Here we go. If you're trying to get a loan, print out one of these PDF reports. Check this thing out, you guys. Like it seriously shows all the numbers and it's designed in a way that lenders want to see. I built this so that lenders can see, like we designed this so that lenders can see exactly what they need to know. It has all the numbers. It shows that you've done your homework. And yeah, you can upload a PDF directly to a PowerPoint, or what I do whenever I'm getting a loan, I always print out one of these pages and I give it to the lender. Or whenever I'm working on a deal and I'm not sure about it, I print out one of the reports and I look at it with my wife. Like if for no other reason, these reports are helpful because they help convince your spouse that you're not crazy, right? Nothing says, like, this sounds stupid, but like nothing says, I know what I'm talking about, like charts and graphs, right? Like it's so stupid, but that's how our minds work. Like when you show a lender this and you see all these charts and graphs and like, here's year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, 10, 20, it just makes everyone think you're an expert. It makes you feel like an expert. Oh man, like I just dumped a bunch of water all over my table. Ignore me. Okay, hold on. Hopefully that didn't ruin my computer. All right. Wow, that was weird. Good thing you guys aren't watching me right now. That would be awkward. All right. Anyway, I love that part of the calculator. So make sure you guys are doing that. Check out the PDF reports. It's even got like a map. You can upload photos all you want. It's got all these cool things. So check that out. I totally forgot to tell you guys that earlier. So, all right. Oh, while we're on that note, also, under more actions, you can share a PDF report with anybody you want to. For example, I'm going to put actually a link to that PDF report right in the chat room. So check out the top of the chat room right now, and I'm going to actually put a link in there. So just go here, download, share PDF report, and it pops up a link. Hold on. It takes usually like 10 seconds. Oh, man. Oh, man. Come on. There it is. All right. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to paste it in there. All right. At the top of the chat room. Check it out. All right. Let me get a few more questions. Do you have your real estate license or do you work with agents? I do not have my license. I work with agents. Parcetta said, does Bigger Pockets collect my address for others to see? No, we do not give out email addresses to anybody, ever. Let's see. Kurt said, I want to go pro, but I need to change my registered name on BP. Can you help me? Yeah, shoot an email over to support, SUPPORT, at biggerpockets.com. They're there 24/7 to help you out. They can do that. All right, what other questions we got here? How do you find a good property manager? You have to talk to other investors. So like go to local networking events, find other investors, find out who they're using. It's hard to find a good property manager. So you have to use word of mouth. That's really the best way. Jarika said, what methods should I use to find a mentor or a partner? Find local networking events. In fact, check this out, guys. If you go over to biggerpockets.com go up to, where is that? Community, go up into community and go down to networking events right here. You're going to land on our events and happening page. Check this out. Here's local events in my area. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, this Friday or next Friday, there is a conference being put on by a buddy of mine, the Pacific Northwest Conference. It's going to be amazing. You should go to that. You'll find a ton of people who might be mentors or partners. Or if you're in Portland, on August 1st, there's a meetup. If you're in Woodinville, Washington, there's a meetup there. Or go to any zip code you want, right? Check this out. Here's St. Cloud. Is that St. Cloud? In Brainerd. Check this guys out. There's this guy, Daniel, has decided to do a meetup here in Brainerd. Right? Kind of cool, huh? So that's a good way to find people. Go there, go to either. And if you, by the way, if you do not have an event in your area, if you are looking over here at biggerpockets.com/events and you're like, oh, there's no event in my area, guess what? You get to start one. And that is amazing because that means you're the connector. Anytime you can bring together people, that's your opportunity to build friendships and partnerships, and people bring you deals and people bring you financing. So be excited if nobody's got a deal going in your area. But man, look at all these deals all across the country, these meetups that are happening all the time. Down below, you can kind of see this stuff. So definitely, if you don't have a meetup in your area, start one. You do have to be a pro member, though, to start a meetup. To start one here on this page, to create an event, you do have to be a pro member. So just keep that in mind. But anybody can go and find events and show up to them. All right. I'm going to turn my face back on again. And we'll do some more Q&A. Hold on. Let me get my... All right. Here's where I spilled the water. You want to see the water? That's awkward. I just spilled it all over my computer front and whatever. But, you know, this is live. Come on. Things happen when you're a live thing. Now we have this much water left. All righty. Andy said, what's the difference between private and hard money? Private is personal. Hard money is hard. No, right. Private money really is personal. It's people you know and network with. So I met people on Bigger Pockets. They became friends. We messaged back and forth. We talked to each other on the phone. We saw each other at like a conference or a meetup, and they turned into my private lenders. That's happened numerous times. I've met people on the site. We built a relationship. They became my private lenders. Hard money lenders are like companies who lend money on real estate deals. If you want to find a hard money lender, go to biggerpockets.com/hard money lenders. Biggerpockets.com/hard money lenders. You'll find hundreds of hard money lenders all across the country. All right, other things here. Oh, Chris said, what was that code? It was SFR. SFR. Let's see what else we got here. Tony said, I'm ready to start. I'm just not sure how to research a property. So Tony, it's kind of like walking when you're a baby, right? My little girl just learned to walk. And so like the first time she did it, she took like one step and fell down. Then the second time she did it, she took like 2 steps and fell down. Then like 4. The first time you analyze a deal, it's going to take you a while. You're going to struggle. The second time you analyze a deal, you're going to get a little bit better. The third time, you're going to get even better. But whenever you come to a question, you just ask the question, how do I figure this out? You know, a really good a place to ask that question, the Bigger Pockets forums, totally free. You can ask questions anytime. So if you're like, I don't know how to figure out taxes on a property. Well, besides the fact that in the calculators, we help you learn all that stuff by hovering over those question marks, you can also ask people on the forums anything you want to know. Like it's really like a matter of asking, how do I, and not shutting your brain off. All right. Let's see. Sophie said, how do I find reputable contractors for rehab as I'm not handy to do it myself? That's good you're not handy. Being handy holds me back. I say it a lot. Being handy holds me back because I think I can do anything. I spent like 2 weeks working like on my bathroom countertop, sanding down wood, staining it, varnishing it. Now, granted, I do that because I'm financially free, so I can do whatever I want, and I like doing that. But like, I could have been out finding deals during that time. But I wasn't. I was working because I have the skill. So anyway, it's okay you don't know what you're doing contractor-wise. How do you find them? A few ways. One, connect with real estate investors in your area. Go to biggerpockets.com/meet, MEET, and connect with some real estate investors there. You'll find some really good guys and girls that are doing business in your area. Ask them, hey, who are you using for a contractor? I love giving recommendations for my contractors because I want my contractors busy so that they like me. I want them like successful. I want them to know that I'm the one that helps them out and gets them deals and gets them jobs, right? And I'm good with that. So ask people in your area. All right, other things. Tony also said, don't know where to look for deals. Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Redfin.com. But most important, get a real estate agent and have them set you up with automatic email alerts. So simple. All right, let's see. I love this question. Alexa said, if I rent now, should I focus on purchasing my own home first for myself or purchasing one now and rent it until my lease is up? You know, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like, I know that sounds weird, but like, it doesn't really matter at all. Like, what is better for your life to do? Like that sounds stupid, but that's really the answer. It doesn't matter. You can be successful either way. Whatever you choose, go all in. Like if you want to like continue renting for the rest of your life, great. There are a lot of real estate investors who do not own their own home because they just would choose not to. They don't have to do the repairs. They don't have to work on their property. They don't have to deal with any of the drama that goes with ownership. So they choose to rent. If you want to buy a property, then keep renting until later. If you want to buy a property and rent it out, if you want to move right away and, you know, like find a way to get out of your lease, it all works. It doesn't matter. All right. Manny asked a great question. Is there a way to remove the Bigger Pockets logo from the report? Yes, there is. Just, you know, that little drop down box we saw earlier that said like, now what did it say? It said, hold on. I want to give you the exact words that it said. It was like at the bottom of page 4, it says more actions. It says upload a company logo. You can actually white label the report so they have your company's logo on there, not Bigger Pockets. Pretty cool, right? I thought so. So check that out. Make sure you guys do that and upload your own logo to the report so that way you can impress people with how awesome you are. Let's see. Dirk said, what's the difference between, on the report, what's the difference between pro forma cap rate and purchase cap rate? Good question. So your cap rate, the difference is one is including the repair costs and one is not. So like, let me pull up an article that I talk about this in more depth. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Where is it at? I don't know. It's here somewhere. All right, well, whatever. Let me just explain then because I don't know where the article is. So basically this. So cap rate, for those who don't understand what cap rate is, it's your net operating income. This is getting a little bit advanced, and if you're brand new, you can tune me out for the next minute. But this is really, really, really cool stuff if you're looking to get into multifamily. Cap rate is like your net operating income, which is like how much money is left over after all the bills have been paid, divided by the purchase price. Does that make sense? So let's say every year the property brings in like cash flows $50,000 a year, not counting the mortgage. Divide that by the purchase price and you get a cap rate. The cap rate basically is a way of saying, what's your return on investment if you paid all cash? This is getting really confusing. But it basically says, what's your return on investment if you paid all cash? That number like differs based on if you did repairs or not. So let's say you buy a property for $1, but you put $1 million worth of work into it. Well, your cap rate's going to be very, very different because it doesn't include the repairs or does include the repairs. So we separate them into two. Pro forma is your cap rate without repairs. And what was the other one? It was pro forma and what's the word I'm looking for? Pro forma and purchase cap rate. Purchase is without repairs. Pro forma is with repairs done. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully. If not, I'm horrible at explaining that, but all right. Nicole said, is there a contractor that you work with to help estimate and complete your renovation costs? Not really. I do it myself using the model that Jay Scott taught me in the book on estimating rehab costs. You can get it on Amazon for $20. Don't pass it up. It's really good. Eric said officially pro, 2 exclamation marks. Thank you, Brandon. Eric, you're awesome. Sky said, is there a way to pay with PayPal? There's not. Only with normal like credit debit stuff. Marilyn Inez said, I love your calculators. Thank you, Marilyn. I love your calculators. Wait, that didn't make sense. Let's see. Zev said, I'm on my way to freedom. Just went pro annual. That's awesome, Zev. Ashley just went pro annual, ready to dominate. Whoop, whoop. What's a discount code? SFR. S is in Sam. F is in Frank. R is in residual income. SFR. Single family residence. Let's see. Oh, can someone type in the promo code? Man, I'm going to go back to my screen so everyone can see the promo code because where was it? Here. I'll leave this up for a little while, guys. We'll do some more Q&A. Aaron said, what's the best advice for buying a brand new house? Make sure you do the numbers. Michael said, water cost me a motherboard. Never again an open container. Not even a Coke can on my computer desk. What else we got here? Marciletto said, no answer to my question in all capitals. Wow, no need to shout at me. I didn't see your question. There's a lot of them in here, but you can ask it again if you want. Ted said, talk about buying short sales. So a short sale is basically when a person owes more money to the bank than the property is worth. So let's say I owed $100,000 on my mortgage, but the property was only worth like $50,000. So I could get foreclosed on, or you could come to me and say, Brandon, let's do a short sale. We go to the bank and we say, hey, bank, my house is only worth $50,000. I owe you $100,000. Is it okay if John buys my house for $50,000? And the bank says, sure, why not? And then a year later, you buy it. Short sales take a long time sometimes. All right. Mark said, how much is too much repairs? Oh, there is no number. However, there was a deal. If you were on last week's webinar, I talked about how I got 2 deals under contract in the past couple of weeks. I backed out on one of them yesterday. When I did my my kind of like walkthrough inspection, it just needed way more work than I thought, way more. And I was looking at it. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I could still make money on it, but why? I didn't want to drop $100,000 in rehab. Like I got better things to do with my time than drop $100,000 in rehab just to make a few $100s a month in cash flow. So I backed out. So it kind of depends on each person. But my fourplex was $120,000 rehab. So Dustin said, do you have a suggestion on learning about forming partnerships with real estate? Sure. Can I plug my book? So the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down, I spent a whole chapter in that book all on partnerships. So that's the book you get for free when you upgrade to Bigger Pockets Pro. But you can also buy it at biggerpockets.com/no money. Manny, oh yeah, you already got that question. Yes, you can remove the logo. Brittany said, do I ever invest in new building single family houses? I do not, but I know a lot of investors are making good money that way right now. You just got to run the numbers. Brandon Dominguez, I don't know, said, let's get it. Let's go. I love it. Love the enthusiasm. Let's see. Brad said, you're not perfect. Brad also said, I'm in. Whoop, whoop. Jason said, just went pro. Do you have a list of lenders? Yeah, go to biggerpockets.com/hard money lenders. That'll help you out. Biggerpockets.com/hard money lenders. Pedro said, we should meet up, the ones who live in the same city, and help each other out. Pedro, you're awesome. That's a great idea. Go to biggerpockets.com/events, EVENTS, and start a meetup in your area. You get to be the guy that starts it. Lynn said, just went pro. That's awesome. What else we got here? Sky said, what are your thoughts on Navy federal loans? I don't know much about them, but I know people who have done them and had a lot of luck with them. Let's see. Will lenders lend off cash flow for a BRRRR refi, or do you need income to qualify as well? So Andy, you're probably going to need income to qualify as well. However, I just did a BRRRR deal and I refinanced with a private money lender. So you don't have to refinance with a traditional bank, but usually it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. All right. Let's see. Nick said, in your opinion, is it a bad idea to buy a brand new property as your first rental? No, in my opinion, it's a bad idea to buy a bad rental property as your first investment. In other words, if the numbers make sense with a new construction, buy all day long. That's great. In my market, it doesn't make much sense. In other markets, it does. Here's why. In my market, let me ask you guys a question. How much does it cost to build a new house? Maybe $150,000? So in my market, $150,000 house, okay, maybe a little more, maybe 200,000. Let's say $200,000 to build a small little house, like a nice rental house, 200 grand. In my market, that house would rent for $1,000 a month. In Nashville, that would rent for $2,000 a month. In San Francisco, that would rent for $8,000 a month. It's the same $200,000 to build it, but different rents across the country. So in cheaper areas, new construction is a lot harder. Now, granted, I know there's other things that play into that, like the cost of, like the land and stuff. But generally speaking, in my area, it doesn't work very well for new builds, but in other areas, it works so great. So check it out. Nika said, do hard money lenders lend to rental real estate, like rental properties? Nika, only some of them do. The problem is, and only if you're going to burr it. Most hard money lenders will not lend more than 1 year. I'll say that again. Most hard money lenders do not lend more than 1 year. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking to get into real estate with hard money lenders, you got to get in and out quick. Matthew said, I missed the door prizes link. Oh, let me get you them all again. Let me go back. Door prizes were, oh wait, it was after this part. All right, door prizes were, number 1 was biggerpockets.com/books. Biggerpockets.com/books. Number 2 was biggerpockets.com/SFR slides. And biggerpockets.com/7 years. Ashwin said, this is a great question, you guys. Ashwin, and I love that you asked this. How do I understand the mathematic principles of analyzing deals more than just relying on the calculators? So the calculators are super helpful, but I also encourage you guys, you should know what's the math behind it. Here's what I'd recommend. 1, attend these webinars every week. Attend the webinars every single week because I go through the numbers every week. Every week you'll get smarter. 2, question everything on the calculator. Ask yourself, well, what does this mean? How did this number get here? 3rd, watch some of the YouTube videos I've done. If you go to youtube.com/biggerpockets and go on the past videos, you'll find a lot of videos on how to analyze deals. A lot of them. We do them every week. We do videos. Both I do them, Dave does them, Matt Faircloth does them. Go on there and watch some of the videos. That's a really good way to do it. Michael said, answering the question, how do you find contractors? Sit outside Home Depot at 6 a.m. with a sign that says, investor looking for contractors. Dude, I love that. I love that. Kurt said, I can't access support. Kurt, send an email to send an email. If you guys need support help at all, send an email to support@biggerpockets.com. Support@biggerpockets.com. Just send an email to them. They'll take care of you. Let's see. Devin said, I'm 16 years old. I live in Reno. How do I have people take me seriously when talking about real estate? So Devin, first of all, when you're young, I want to actually broaden this to everybody. If you're young, like under 35, under 40, I mean, young is a relative term, but let's say you're under 40. Anybody who's young, how do you get them to take you seriously? A couple things. First of all, they will naturally take you seriously when they see your passion and your education. In fact, if somebody came to me and said, Brandon, I'm 16 years old and I really want to invest in real estate. I'm in your market. I've attended these webinars. I've analyzed some deals. This is a property that I'm looking at. What do you think I should do? Would I not help them? Man, that would get me so stoked. Like, there's a kid, his name's Evan. He might be on this webinar right now. This guy, Evan, he's in my area. He's from here originally. I knew him a few years ago, just kind of I knew him through some other people. Anyway, he started attending these webinars, called me up. He's like, hey, I'm coming back for summer break. Can we hang out and can I have job shadow you? Now, for most people, I'd say no because I don't have time. But for this kid, because I know him really well, of course I did. I mean, I know him decently well. I was excited that he's excited. So I'm dedicating a lot of my time to helping him get into real estate because he took an interest in something that I have an interest in. So the first thing, understand that being young is the greatest advantage you have because everybody older than you will be excited to help you out when you show passion, enthusiasm, and knowledge. Now, you can't go to somebody and be like, will you be my mentor and help me if you haven't already put in the work? So you need to be enthusiastic about it. You need to be doing stuff. You need to bring some deals to them and show them, and then they're going to be excited to help you out. Also, just find people that you can work with. I mean, no matter how old you are, like if you're new, find a mentor, find somebody in your market who's crushing it and say, how do I provide value? How can I find you deals? And then go do exactly what they say. All right, Cole said, Brandon, does an official business like an LLC need to be started for real estate investing? No. LLCs are helpful for legal reasons. So if you get sued, you don't lose everything. But when you're just starting out, I mean, what are you going to lose? Like if you don't have any money, what are you going to lose? So you don't need an LLC. It can be helpful if you want one. Go talk to a CPA or a lawyer and get one. But don't let that stop you. I didn't have an LLC for the first few years. And then when I did get an LLC, I did it wrong for a few years. So, today I've got a bunch of LLCs, but I still don't do it very well sometimes. But most of my properties are in LLCs because I think it's a good idea. All right. By the way, Michael had a really good answer to Devin, the 16-year-old. He said, you have to be 18 to get a loan. So study your butt off for the next 2 years and save as much as you can. Then get a jump start when you turn 18. Loan lenders will want to see 2 years of income. So if you're not working now, you should start. That's all great advice. I love it. Let's see. Garfield said, just join Bigger Pockets Pro. Whoop, whoop. How do I download all the books? So the page you land on is going to be biggerpockets.com/pro/welcome. That page has all the downloads. Just click any of the pictures at the top. But if not, if you don't see them there, go to your email. You'll get an email with a link as well. If you have any problems, just email support@biggerpockets.com. Francis, done. Pro now. Woo, woo. It's awesome. Congratulations. What else we got here? Dirk said, what's the baseline for a credit score to refinance with a BRRRR strategy? Usually 620, 630, 650, somewhere in there. Jamil said, I never purchased a home before. How do I factor in closing costs? I usually figure anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000 depending on your lender. If your lender has a lot of charges, go 4. If you're not, do 2. Dustin said, would you do a partnerships on a buy and hold? Yes, and I do partnerships on buy and hold, but only if I needed it to, not even only if I needed it and I liked the person a lot that I worked with and we worked well together and I trusted them like I trust my mother. In fact, I partnered with my parents. I partnered with my in-laws. I partnered with people from church. I partnered with friends of mine, people that I trust and that I like that have the same agenda. All right. Ken said, what's a good tool for finding foreclosures? Easy. It's called the MLS. In today's world, almost every single foreclosure goes on the market just like every other property. And the ones that don't, they go to auction sites like auction.com. So search auction.com every day and find a real estate agent to set you up with automatic email alerts for every new foreclosure that comes on the market or every cheap property that comes on. All right, let's see. Let's see. Michael asked, how many houses do I flip every year? Usually, I don't know, the last couple of years, 2 or 3, 4 maybe. I'd like to do like 5 or 6 this year. I'm kind of trying to take it up a little bit. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to do a couple more questions, then I got to get out of here. Let's see. All right, so Sky said, assume that I have perfect credit. What timeline am I looking for refinancing? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I assume to buy properties faster than refinancing, I have to keep using new money sources, and then when the refinance happens, I'll get my money back. Good question. So first of all, most banks require you wait 6 months to refinance, though some do allow 12 months. So you maybe can do, most require 6, but some make you go 12. So if you're lucky, you get 6, worst case 12. So yes, you may, if you want to buy a lot of BRRRR properties at once, you may want to get multiple sources of short-term funding, but I wouldn't worry about that. Worry about the first deal. Worry about the first deal. Worry about the second deal later. That's honestly I think people worry too much about the big picture when all you need to worry about is one thing: get the next deal. That's what I'd say. All right. Cindy said, please answer my question. Cindy, can you ask it again? Cause I didn't. Oh, wait, I see it here. What do you think about $20,000 in profit a year with a purchase price of $135,000 for a fourplex? Is it a good deal, a great deal, or not such a good deal? Great question, Cindy. So for me, it comes down to 2 things. Cash on cash return. Well, technically 3 things. Well, technically 4 things. All right. This might get a little bit confusing, but write this down, guys. Here's what I look for when I'm looking for a property. There's kind of 4 things that I kind of balance. I look for cash on cash return. Cash on cash return. I should make a little like image card to put up on Instagram. Hey, by the way, are you guys following me on Instagram yet? I'm going to make an image card of this later. So follow me there and you'll see it. But cash on cash return. I look for cash flow per door. And so cash on cash return, I look for at least 12%. Cash flow per door, I look for at least $200 per single family house or $100 per multifamily unit. So like a duplex, I'd go 200, a fourplex, I'd go 400 per month in cash flow. I also look for immediate equity, which means I like to have at least 20% equity in the property after I buy it and fix it up. So if I buy a property and I've got $200,000 into it, I want to, if I buy a property and I have $200,000 into it, divided by 0.8? Yeah, divided by 0.8, I get $250,000. I want it worth $250,000. So I want at least 20% equity. And lastly, I want my overall return, also kind of known as IRR, internal rate of return. Those are 2 different things, but they're close enough for what we're getting at today. I want that to be at least 15%. So I want my cash on cash return to be 12%. I want my cash flow per door to be 200 or 100 for multifamily. I'll put this up on the screen in 1 second, guys. I want my immediate equity to be 20%. I want my overall return or my IRR to be 15%. So Brandon's purchase criteria. Let's say Beardy Brandon's purchase criteria. Instagram, follow me at Beardy Brandon and also at Bigger Pockets. You can also find me on Twitter and stuff too. But all right, hold on. Let me put this up on the screen. Takes forever to do anything on my computer when I'm talking. All right, so this is my criteria. Y'all see it? Hopefully. All right, what else we got here? Tiffany asks, how do you convince a seller to sell to you instead of using a realtor? I don't think it's so much about selling as it is like you don't have to convince them to sell to you. I would just point out the benefits. I mean, really, like, why should they sell to you? I think it's a good question. You should not rob any seller of going to an agent. You should do it. They should do it because it's the best interest for them to do it. Here's what I mean by that. There's a lady, I bought a house from 6 months ago, who if she would have listed with a real estate agent, she probably could have gotten $65,000 on the market. Okay. She could have sold the house for $65,000. However, she would have had to pay a real estate agent, $8,000 out of that? She would have had to pay closing costs of probably $3,000 out of that, or let's say probably $3,000 out of that besides that. So now she's at $11,000 loss on 65. Now she's down to 55,000, right? Then she would have to have it sit on the market for 3 months, but she had taxes due in like 3 weeks. So she'd have had to sit on the market for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, having showings, having all that drama and all that difficulty. She had somebody living in the house, and she would have had a really hard time selling it because she had somebody living in the house who smoked like a chain smoker, and the house had like a 1/4-inch thick tar on every wall. The sellers who would buy that house were going to try to nickel and dime her. They're going to do inspections. They're going to have problems. They're going to cause her a lot of drama. At the end of the day, I bought her house for $40,000, and she was happy. She hugged us when we bought her property because it wasn't about price for her. It was about solving all her other problems. Yeah, we were a little cheaper than the agent, and she knew that. She knew she could get more by listing it. We were her best option because of what she needed to get out. She needed speed. She needed it easy. The person renting her property was a family member. She wanted us to take care of kicking him out. She didn't want to have to do it, right? We solved all of her problems. Money was not the number one problem for her. So how do you convince a seller to sell to you? You tell them all the benefits you tell them why you're the better option. If you're not the better option, great. Have them list with an agent, but you tell them why you're the better option. That's what I think. What else we got here? Pager asked, what do I feel about vacation or temporary rentals? Good question. I have one. I think in certain areas they're really good, but they definitely require more work than I'm used to. In fact, I'm on my phone, like texting with my Airbnb tenants, like every day, like 5 times a day, doing things like somebody booked the night, somebody did this, like my landscaper didn't show up, my the cleaner who has to show up every 2 days didn't show up. Like it's constant work, and I don't like work. Yes, I make good money, but I'm the jury's still out. Now, granted, I probably don't do things very well. If I kept doing a lot of them, I'd probably come up with systems that would make it easier. But because I only have one, it's kind of annoying, honestly. But I make like $2,500 a month on the property, and I'd only rent it for like $800 if I kept it as a rental. So right now, it's probably still worth it. But there we go. All right. Jason said, can you keep a file of reports, or is there a limit on how many? Yeah, you can keep as many reports as you want, and you can access your reports anytime. You can even clone your reports, so you can analyze. Let me actually show you guys that. Check this out. So over here, where were we at? Okay, let me go back to biggerpockets.com/analysis. And then I'm going to do one more question after this, but I'll do this one first. Click here to start your analysis. In here, once you go to this page right here, all the calculators, you can view your previous reports. So let's say I want to view my previous BRRRR reports right here. I click on that, and now I can see all of my reports that I've done. In fact, I have 6 pages right here of reports. I can also track the progress. Where's my investment progress? Have I made an offer yet? Did my offer get accepted? Have I closed on the deal? I did it. So I can track that if I want to. Also, I can set a reminder, which I've never actually done this. Remind me in 1 week, 2 weeks to check back on the property. This is super helpful, guys. And I never use it, but man, I need to use it. I kind of forgot about this feature. So let's say I want to be reminded let's say I offered on this property and they told me no. Well, I want to email this person again in 4 weeks. So I'm going to set a reminder. Boom, like that. Reminder set 4 weeks. That's so cool. I forgot about that. I can download a PDF. I can archive it if I don't care about it anymore. I can also copy this report. And it duplicates it basically. So now I've got 2 right here, 1 and 2. And so now I can change this one and make it a little bit different. I can add a different photo if I want, or I can change the numbers and keep both of them. I can copy it again. I can also check my flipping ones. I can check my rental property ones. I can check my wholesale ones. I can look at my archived reports. I can look at things that other people have shared with me. My assistant sometimes will share stuff with me. I can track my portfolio. Like, there's all my properties. You probably don't want to see that, but we have a little portfolio tracker, which I don't even know how you get to that anymore. I think it's just /portfolios. Anyway, that's kind of what I do. So lots of cool stuff in there once you get in there. All right. I'm going to do one more question, guys. I'm going to get out of here. But before I do the last question, I love this last question. I want to say thank you guys for showing up today. We went for 2 hours. That's one of the longest webinars I've ever done. Probably because my wife's not here. She's out with her mom at some, appointment somewhere up in Seattle. So I can hang out with you guys a little longer. But if I did not get to your question today, if I did not get to it, please ask it in the forums. Bigger Pockets here. All right. So let's see. If I did not get your question, again, ask it in the forums. Remember, the coupon code expires on Sunday evening. So make sure you guys get in there and upgrade to Pro before then. If you do, make sure you guys let me know. Hit me up on Instagram @BeardyBrandon or on Twitter @Brandon@BP, and let me know that you upgraded. I love to talk with people through social media. I'm a social media junkie. And final piece of advice before I get to the last question: take action. Take action. This is worthless if you don't take action. All right, last question. Now, the question is very specific, but I'm going to broaden it to apply to everybody who's struggling with financing. Eric said, I recently lost my job, but I managed to save up a few $1,000s. Are bank loans impossible without a steady job? If so, what if I never got a steady job again and only focused on real estate? So, Eric, there are many examples of investors who have done just that. They never get a real job again, ever. They work only on real estate. However, if you're going to do that, you've got to be very, very good at running a business. In other words, you're going to need to generate cash quickly. A good way to do that would be through wholesaling. Make sure you listen to the podcast that came out today. Go to biggerpockets.com/podcast. It will change your life. That guy's doing 25 deals a month. You only need to do a couple a month. Do some wholesale deals the way that he talks about, or flip some houses. But flipping's harder to get money because you won't get it for 3 or 4 months. So definitely check out that. You could buy enough rental properties, but that's going to take you a number of years to get enough to be able to pay all your bills probably. So I don't know if I'd recommend rentals to get to that point. I would recommend instead find a way to generate income doing something you love, but that's also flexible. Maybe it means becoming a real estate agent. Use a couple $1,000s, become an agent, read a few books on how to become an expert real estate agent, and then crush it as a real estate agent. That gives you the flexibility of time, and it gives you the ability to hustle, right? Bank loans are very, very hard to get if you don't have a steady job. Very hard to get. So if you go that route, if anybody here doesn't have a good steady job, doesn't have a good W-2, you're going to have to be more creative. The easiest way, find a partner. Find a partner who has a steady job and a great career and work with them. They can get the loans. You do the hustle. Everybody wins. Sound good? All right, guys. I know I did not get to everybody. I know I didn't give shout outs to everybody either, but thank you so much for being here today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you guys later. By the way, guys, Brad said I became a pro 30 minutes ago and I have 2 analyses completed. Now or never. Dude, 90-day challenge. Love it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great evening, and I will see you guys next week if you want to come back to the next Bigger Pockets webinar, unless you become a pro member and you can watch them on replay anytime you want by going to biggerpockets.com/pro replay. See you guys later. Thank you so much for being a part of Bigger Pockets. Adios. Bye.